Welcome and thank you for being here today. My name is Dr. Gary Simmons. I am the co-creator of the Quantum Living Process and the shadow work program called Awareness. If you're tuning in, chances are you're feeling called to something deeper, something more authentic and transformative than what conventional approaches to healing have offered. And that's not just a feeling, it's a sign that your inner wisdom is ready to lead. Let's begin with the truth of our time. People everywhere are struggling emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Depression is rampant. Anxiety has become normalized. Trauma is almost universal. Many feel disconnected, numb, or burdened by past pain that refuses to go away. This is why the Quantum Living Process, or QLP, and its foundational system Awareness are so urgently needed. They provide a holistic, soul-centered pathway out of suffering and into integration. And when paired with the neuroplastic potential of psychedelic-assisted experiences, they become not just effective, but life-changing. Let's explore how. First, let's consider mental health conditions. Depression, anxiety, and PTSD are not simply conditions to be managed. They are messengers, signals that something deep within us is out of alignment. The Quantum Living Process teaches us to listen to these signals, to see them not as a pathology, but as guidance. It leads us through a structured process to uncover the root narratives that fuel emotional distress, helping us to transmute reactive patterns into self-awareness. Now enter psychedelics. Substances like psilocybin, LSD, and ayahuasca, under the right conditions, open the mind to new neural pathways. They quiet the default mode network, the egoic hub that often fuels ruminative thought, and allow access to memories, emotions, and insights that are normally inaccessible. In this heightened state of neuroplasticity, the brain becomes more receptive to change. The Quantum Living Process takes those insights and turns them into sustainable practices that rewire emotional responses. How about addictions and compulsive behaviors? Addiction is not about moral failure. It's about pain. It's about using external substances or behaviors to numb internal wounds. The QLP helps individuals recognize their addictive patterns without shame and gives them the tools to explore the emotional triggers behind them. It separates the behavior from the identity, inviting healing where there was once self-condemnation. Psychedelic supports this process by helping users see themselves with compassion. They dissolve the walls of denial and allow the user to confront pain directly, often with a sense of sacredness. This confrontation, when paired with the QLP, doesn't re-traumatize. It heals. The structure of Awareness gives form to the formless, helping participants anchor insights and create new behavior from a place of love, not fear. Then there are developmental and complex trauma issues. When we are young and vulnerable, our nervous systems adapt to survive. We fragment. We suppress. We develop reactive identities to protect our innocence. The Quantum Living Process recognizes this and creates a pathway back to the inner child, not to relive the trauma, but to reparent it, to integrate it. Psychedelics can enable deep emotional catharsis. They allow people to revisit painful experiences with a sense of safety and spiritual perspective. But what happens after the tears and visions fade? That's where the QLP steps in. It helps you give voice to the wounded self, to see that your core identity was never broken, only buried. Through journaling, embodied practices, and self-inquiry, you bring your parts home. This includes dealing with relationship and identity issues. So many of us are trapped in cycles of codependency, fear of abandonment, or self-sabotage. These patterns stem from identities we created to earn love and to avoid pain. The QLP illuminates these roles, what I call reactive identities, and gently shows us how to dissolve them. During a psychedelic experience, people often see their relationships from a wider perspective. They realize how much their love has been conditional, how much their communication is defensive. The QLP turns that insight into transformation. It helps you rewire how you show up in intimacy, not by demanding change from others, but by shifting the internal architecture of your own being. Underlying all this are spiritual and existential challenges. Who am I? Why am I here? What's the point of all of this? These are not mental health problems, they are spiritual crises. The QLP provides a framework for spiritual inquiry that is grounded, non-dogmatic, and deeply personal. It integrates spiritual awakening with psychological maturity, making sure your insights don't bypass your shadows, but include and transform them. Psychedelics often induce mystical experiences, states of oneness, awe, and divine connection. But without proper integration, these experiences can feel fleeting or confusing. The quantum living process allows these moments to become anchoring truths. It helps you live from that unity, not just remember it. Then there are psychosomatic conditions we must own. Our bodies hold our stories. Chronic pain, digestive issues, autoimmune disorders, they often have roots in unresolved emotions. The quantum living process helps us restore connection to the body. It invites us to listen, to breathe, to welcome discomfort as a messenger. Psychedelic states often involve body sensations, visions, or spontaneous movements. These are somatic releases, energetic recalibrations. When supported by the QLP, they don't remain isolated events. They evolve into daily practices of embodiment and healing. Later in life, we deal with leadership, parenting, and life purpose questions and issues. If you are a healer, a coach, a leader, or a parent, your own healing is the most powerful gift you can offer others. The QLP helps you walk your talk, not from perfection, but from presence. It refines your awareness so that your choices, your words, your leadership arise from clarity, not conditioning. When psychedelics reveal your soul's purpose, the QLP helps you live it. When they challenge you to change your life, the QLP gives you the roadmap. It's not either or, it's both and. It's moving from role to soul. After all is said and done, we are called to be in ownership of what our unconscious self has created. This means mastering your unresolved self. Mastery through awareness means that life is no longer something that happens to you, it becomes something that arises from within you. Every challenge is feedback. Every trigger is a gift. Every emotion is a doorway. The QLP trains you to see this, to live this, to embody this. When the enhanced neuroplasticity of psychedelics, you're not just thinking differently, you're becoming different. You are laying new neural pathways. You are transforming trauma into wisdom. You are remembering who you truly are. Yet in spite of all of this, you are called to live from your wholeness and from your essence. Shadow work offers profound benefits when integrated with psychedelic-assisted awareness. Now let's take a moment to highlight some of the broader benefits that arise when the quantum living process is paired with psychedelic-assisted awareness. Consider the opportunity for the integration of non-ordinary states of consciousness. Psychedelics can open doors to altered states of consciousness, experiences of ego dissolution, communion with nature, and encounters with spiritual realities. These non-ordinary states are often profound, but they can also be destabilizing if not properly integrated. The quantum living process helps ground these experiences. It gives them context, language, and a pathway into your daily life. Instead of fading like a dream, these moments become transformative anchors. This helps you shift from victim consciousness to the embodiment of authentic power. One of the central outcomes of the QLP is the shift from seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances to recognizing yourself as the conscious creator of your experience. Through its structured process, the QLP helps dissolve the limiting narratives we've inherited, stories of not enough, of blame, of helplessness, and replaces them with a sense of sovereign presence. Psychedelics can accelerate this realization by dissolving ego structures and revealing a deeper truth about our nature. The QLP then sustains this shift and turns insight into awakening. Another benefit is trauma resolution and emotional freedom. Shadow work facilitates deep healing of unresolved trauma, which psychedelics often bring to the surface. The QLP framework promotes presence and radical self-acceptance, allowing difficult memories or emotions to be met with compassion, leading to emotional release and integration rather than re-traumatization. What also arises from resolution is the capacity to align identity with essence. Psychedelics can initiate ego death or identity shifts. QLP helps anchor these shifts by discerning between personality self and essential self. Shadow work clarifies the unconscious attachments and stories that uphold a false sense of self, enabling a realignment with one's core spiritual identity, what I call living from wholeness. We are aided in our consciousness work when neuroplasticity is enhanced. Psychedelics boost neuroplasticity. Shadow work gives this transformation a direction. The integration practices of the QLP, such as intention setting, forgiveness work, and pattern recognition, capitalize on the brain's openness post-journey, creating lasting behavioral and perceptual change. You have the ability to empower relational awareness. Relationships often serve as mirrors for shadow material. QLP's accountability model enhances relational insight. Psychedelic experiences can surface buried interpersonal wounds. Shadow work helps process these with conscious responsibility rather than blame or projection. By emphasizing spiritual practice, emotional responsibility, and conscious living, shadow work ensures insights from the journey translate into embodied change. So I invite you, step into this work. The quantum living process is more than a program. It's a spiritual technology for the modern age. If you'd like to learn more, enroll in a course, find out more about the programs and fees, reach out to me at drgarysimmons@gmail.com. Thank you for your presence today. May your journey be guided by truth, grounded in love, and fueled by the joy of becoming fully and unapologetically yourself.